Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Scale with Joy show. I'm here with Krissy Chin, and you are going to have so much fun with her. She has scaled her business to over $1 million in just 20 months, and she used to be a nurse. So we're going to find out how she knew how to do this today on the Scale with Joy show. Thank you so much for joining us, Krissy.
You're so welcome. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. So just take us through this journey of you being a nurse and then deciding that you wanted to become an online entrepreneur. Like what did this look like?
Yeah. So I was a nurse. I was pediatrics, PICU, NICU. And I just wanted more. I wanted more freedom, time freedom, financial freedom. I was kind of tired of the politics in that. And so I kind of transitioned into travel nursing because I kind of got to get myself out of the politics just to show up and serve where they needed me to serve. But I just wanted a lot more, and I wanted to travel more, and I wanted to do cool things that cost money. And I looked at what I was making, and while it was really good out of college, I was like, shoot, I'm going to have to go back to school if I want to make any more money. And how much more money am I going to make? Oh, that's not enough money to do the things that I want to do. And so it was just sort of this evolutionary process of figuring out what is it that I can do beyond this that will give me the freedom. Really, financial freedom was what I was really laser focused on, and love health and wellness. I loved being on the side of health prevention as opposed to just kind of covering up what's going on.
Sure.
And so that's kind of where my journey started. And I started other businesses, not really understanding the full picture of what I wanted in the future. So I was super focused on the financials. Could this business that I want to start make the amount of money that I want? Yes. Okay, I'm going for it. But then once I got into it, I was like, wait a minute, I want the time freedom to be able to work or take time off when I want, or we kind of want to move south. We were in Chicago at the time. And I was like, if I build up this practice and people have to come see me in an office and I pick up and move, it's going to crumble. And so I didn't take that into consideration. And so now that's what I teach so much, to build a business that you love and enjoy and will support you 5, 10 years, 20 years down the road. You have to look at where you want to be in all those spots, and then make sure you're checking all the boxes, not just one of the things that you want when you're starting it. But long story short, got started in network marketing. I was like, all right, let's try this health and wellness products, and started building that business. And I've just always had this ideas entrepreneurial mindset without even really realizing and thinking about it, and was looking for ways to grow that business bigger, faster, more simplified, save me time and energy so I can do the things I really love to do. And so that was developing training for the team that I was building. In education that could happen without me being there, right? And that's such a big part in scaling your business. And so I created this resource for that specific company and turned it into a business. And it's a subscription business. I was introduced to residual income through network marketing, loved that idea and that concept. And so I said, all right, this needs to be a subscription platform. How do we do this and make this work? Perfect. We're going to release new content every month. And so launched that, and we had thousands of people joining the day, hundreds of people the day we opened. By the first month we had 4,000 members. And so it was crazy, insane growth. And it was me and my youngest sister doing it. And before we knew it, we had this full-blown business, and I had no formal business training. I'm like, shoot, I got to figure this out. And like, how this is gonna work and happen. So we hit 1 million in 20 months. We're on track to reach 2 million this year. So things are good. And it just sort of evolved into branching out into my personal brand, the Krissy Chin, just helping more people, just like you, build and scale business.
So what do you think you did right? Because on this show, we talk a lot about some of the missteps or the challenges that people face when they're growing. And it sounds like without a lot of training, you either guessed right or you sort of navigated all the different decisions in a short period of time. So what do you think enabled that level of success in that short period?
What I did right was absolutely taking a chance when I didn't have all the answers.
Mm.
So it was like, I knew I was, and I knew I wanted to go. And I was like, I really have no idea how I'm going to get there, but I'm just going to go for it anyway. I'm not going to wait till I have it all figured out and all the pieces to the puzzle put together. It's going to be too late by then. I'm just going to go. And I live by the motto, done is better than perfect. And that's something that has certainly led to success is I'm going to start with something that I think is really good, and I'm going to make modifications along the way to make it even better as we go on. And I see so many people get frozen because they're not sure, or they're predicting all these roadblocks they're going to have, and they're just stopping. They're not doing anything. But taking action is what's going to get you to move to that next step or move to that next level. And so that was something that I certainly did right, was taking action when I certainly probably wasn't ready and didn't have all the answers.
That's so good. And did you follow any particular process for the business model, or did you end up just kind of figuring out what felt right to you?
Figuring out what felt right. Again, like I had started that other business that was gonna, if I worked hard and made it successful, it was gonna provide that financial piece, but then the flexibility wasn't gonna be there. So it's like every time, and I had started another business before that with my sister. And so every time I learned something new, so this, whatever if you're brand new, I know a lot of your people listening aren't brand new, but this might not be like the $10 million business and idea, but you have to go for it and try things to like figure out what's working and what's not working and make those adjustments, down the road. I don't even remember what the question was.
So, and so as you're scaling, I actually don't either, which is totally fine
okay.
because I'm at this time that we're recording, I'm like 38 weeks pregnant, and I'm just shocked I have my name down. So it's totally fine that both of us forgot the question. But I'm also wondering, while you were scaling, it's a fascinating story because I'm listening to you and I'm like, gosh, it takes a lot of people like 10 years of entrepreneurship to be able to walk into business and just pick it up so quickly and figure out what you want in such a short period of time. I know I keep saying that, but it is really remarkable. And most people that I'm friends with a medical background have very little entrepreneurial spirit in them. That they come from a totally different perspective of helping and serving, and not necessarily inventing or creating. They're more rule followers, right? Because you tend to have to be in medicine. It's part of what makes you good at medicine.
Right.
So as you're scaling, what were some of the things that you felt like you kind of had to learn the hard way?
I mean, certainly learning that I'm probably not the best out there. I'm not the best out there, and there's so many other people doing it better. But I don't know. God, what did I have to learn the hard way?
Or any mistakes that you can think of? Mishaps?
I mean, so many mistakes that I've made all along the way. I mean, the thing with me with mistakes, and like, I don't live with regret. Everything that happens in my life happens for a reason. And so every, failed attempt is really just an opportunity for me to learn. And so I think that can be really useful, that while I may have hired the wrong person or started the wrong business in the beginning, it's those failures that have shaped how to move forward and find success along the way. So many just little things of, not hiring someone quick enough, or hiring the wrong person, or someone that just didn't end up serving the business in the way that you had hoped. And, you can think about all that, wasted time and money, but was it really wasted time and money? No, I learned from that experience. I grew from that experience. And now I know how to do better next time.
Yeah, so good. So let's talk about your business today. Like, what does it look like? What does your team look like? What does the structure look like? How do you have this multi-million-dollar operation? And again, growing it in a shorter period of time, in my experience, tends to increase the stress. It tends to increase the amount of cash required. I always say, if you're rushing towards something, it's going to require more of you than if you spread it out over time, right? So
Yeah.
what does it look like today? Because I know that having joy in your life is such an important part of who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think about my business as a whole. And so when I think about, business in my home, my life, it's multiple brands because I run multiple brands. And so I have Grow Workspace, which is the subscription platform, and then my personal brand, which is more coaching and all of that. And here you go. I forgot like the main question again. My mind is like out there.
No
So
worries.
what was the question again?
Yes, and we can just edit that part.
Okay,
So
perfect.
Rachna, when you're listening, we're going to edit that. No
Okay.
worries. So I was asking you about what your business looks like right now. And then if you wouldn't mind sharing, like, what is Girl Workspace? Like, what is that? And then what is it? How do you kind of manage these different brands? And then you
Okay,
can start
perfect.
off with like, I started Girl Workspace so that she can cut right there.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So I started Grow Workspace, a handful of years ago, which we provide marketing material and business training for people building their young living network marketing businesses. So it's a super niche audience, but business as a whole is Grow Workspace and my personal brand. And so managing those and scaling those has really been team effort. So I really only spend about 5 hours a week, give or take, depending on what's going on inside Grow Workspace, and just kind of overseeing that team. And that's allowed me, because I built a team, to focus on, expanding my personal brand and other passion projects. But certainly I have this mindset of not 2xing business, but 10xing business. And I think that's such a great mindset to have, because 2xing your business means you're doing twice the amount of work, and people can do twice the amount of work and they don't have very much joy in their life, right? And in their business. But when you're looking at 10xing, you have this different mindset and you're thinking, okay, how can I scale the business to this 10x level and keep the joy in my life and loving my business and joy in my business? All right, I need to build a support team. So that happened slowly over time. It didn't happen, overnight, building this large team that supports the business. But it was like, okay, Claire, I run that business with my sister, Claire and I. And so it's like, all right, now I'm manually adding people to the private Facebook community every night before bed. I don't want to do this anymore. This is not my zone of genius. I can hire this out. And so it just started, that first person, hiring them to take over the manual process of checking, are they a paying member? Yes. Okay, they get access to the Facebook group. Or, oh, they've canceled, they have to be removed. So some of those tasks that just happen over and over and over again, delegating that and passing it off. And so, bring that person on. Okay, now we want to do more with graphic design. Let's bring in some help with that. Okay, we'll hire the graphic designer. Okay, now we need another support person to do this task. And so the team just started growing over time. And really, Claire and I had our very specific roles. I was in charge of kind of being the face of Grow Workspace, marketing and sales. That was like my jam, connecting with them, creating content for the company, because we put out classes and business training. So I was creating that. And then her expertise, which were all of my lack of skills, was website, graphic design, the logistical pieces of putting the business online. So we 100% complemented each other. What I wasn't good at, she was, and what she wasn't good at, I was. So we made the perfect team. But then we thought, well, if we can hire out some of these pieces that we do, then we'll have more freedom to do the other things that we want to do. And so we did focus on hiring more content creators and more graphic designers and someone to kind of oversee those projects. And the team just started growing. And so I think that's just embracing that it happens over time. We launched in end of 2017. So we're, just shy of 2.5 years, and have just built this team throughout the process. And then, team with my other brand, personal brand, is just slowly building as well. People to help edit with podcast episodes, support checking my emails because I can't keep it all straight. So again, just the team just building slowly to support you where you can, so that I can focus on my zone of genius, the part that's going to scale the
It's so
business and take it to the
interesting.
next level.
That's incredible. And what's actually fascinating about that is that your membership that has 4,000 people in it, or more at this
More now.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. This is all specifically to support people who are selling Young Living. Is that right?
Exactly. So
That's a
it's,
really good niche. I mean, that's a great niche. And that may be part of it too. Because when I said, what do you do right? From my experience, when you can get as specific as possible with who you
yeah.
serve, then it's just easier to grow. So
Yeah.
that sounds like, so it's business education, marketing specifically for Young Living.
Yeah. So that absolutely 100% one of the things that we did right is I knew I was the client, right? Because I created it to
Right.
solve my own problem. So I knew my client because I was the client. So that's like a really great thing. If you know who your client and your ideal client or your avatar, because you are them, like you have a leg up than someone else who's just trying to do research to figure it out. So
Right.
certainly that. And then, yeah, when you have a super specific niche, then you just know what to say. Your messaging will be on point because you're not confused about, well, I'm trying to talk to this person and that person, which is interesting because that business serves network marketers specifically. And that's something that I find with network marketers, their product can be for literally everyone, let's say health and wellness product. And
Sure.
so they try and talk to everyone because they don't want to miss anyone. And that's where they go wrong in building their business is when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one.
Right.
And so that's what I did right in Grow Workspaces. I knew exactly who I was speaking to. I knew their exact problems. I knew the solutions they wanted and needed. Like wanted is the key word there if you're listening.
Right.
Because if you don't want it, you're not going to buy it. Right. So I knew what
Right.
they wanted, but then I also knew what they needed. And I knew how to provide it for them. So yeah, that's what I try and teach to people who kind of feel like, well, I could serve a lot of people. Same with my business coaching. Well, I could teach everyone about business. But if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one will resonate and be attracted to you. So you have to pick that person that you're speaking to, aim for that bullseye,
Right.
and you'll pick up people on the outer rings all day long. Just aim for
Yes.
that bullseye.
So good. Really quick break. If I lose power, we'll have to just catch back up just really quick because it looks like night outside right now. It's like,
oh my gosh.
It's sort of like, oh my goodness.
Storming.
I always say to my neighbors, I'm like, if pigs start flying by, I'm calling Armageddon and just like going into my basement because
Oh my God. Where are you located?
Outside of Philadelphia. Where are you?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, cool. Okay. So I'll pick back
here.
up in a second. So, all right, let me just remember where we were, but I just wanted to give you that heads up in case I disappeared that you were like, oh my gosh, that we would just kind of like schedule a time to finish up.
Okay, cool.
All right. So let me think. Network marketing. Okay, cool. So that sounds amazing. And then tell me a little about your coaching program. Is that also tied to Young Living? And I know I keep kind of bringing this up, but I think it's so interesting that you had found this common product in a lot of ways. I know for many marketers, they're looking for a common ground or belief system or value, but actually being able to help them with a specific product, I think is very powerful. Is that the same with your coaching as well?
Yeah, a little bit. So coaching, it's not for Young Living network marketers, and it's not just for network marketers. However, I ran into this trap in the beginning of starting the coaching business of, well, I could help a lot of people. And it's like, wait a minute, Krissy,
Right.
Listen to your own words and your own message, really focus in on one. So I really now I kind of have three ideal clients and people that just resonate with me. One, network marketers, because I've been in it, I know the business, and that's what Grow Workspace serves. So I know it really well. The other one is entrepreneurs and creatives. I built this online subscription site from the ground up, hit 20 million. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh.
In 20 months. We scaled really quick.
I was like, good for you.
Right. 1 million in 20 months. And so now I have that business knowledge. So, female creatives, entrepreneurs that, want to build and scale their brand and business online. That's my specialty there. And then I sort of have this crossover, if you will, where the two circles meet, where it's network marketers who also have something else that they do to make money on the side. So like a massage therapist who uses network marketing products, and they build both of those brands together. Or, whatever you name, a photographer who also does network marketing. So they have these two brands that they want to build and scale online. And so they kind of come to me for guidance and advice and education on that. So the business coaching is really just serving people and helping them identify their brand and build a brand so it stands out online. That's so my specialty. I like to do everything online so that I can have the freedom, the time freedom to do whatever I want, build my business from wherever I want, excuse me.
Yeah, it's really nice to be able to do that online. And I came from traditional business, and I don't discourage people from traditional business because I have so many friends that are still in it. And I do think it's such a great way to learn. And then I was joking with a previous guest recently where I said, like, when you come from traditional business and then you move online, you're like, whoa, look at those margins. Yeah. That is very different to not have brick and mortar overhead and all of a sudden have an online business. And I do think that if there is anything that traditional business owners have learned so far this year, it's having that secondary online revenue stream is really, really important.
Yeah.
To be able to default to in case anything comes up and you can't operate in a brick and mortar setting anymore. So tell me a little bit about what you're envisioning moving forward. Are you going to continue to grow? Hold on one second. I'm sorry, buddy. You got to go see daddy. You got to go see daddy. Where's daddy, honey? I'm recording. Honey, you got to go see daddy. Okay? Go, please. Oh my gosh, we've had so many interruptions. I'm so sorry. Okay. Buddy, you got to go see daddy. Honey, why not? Buddy, he's scared of the rain. Honey, please go see daddy. You can stay here, but you have to be super duper quiet, okay? Do you have kids?
2. And right before we started, someone came banging on the door, Mom, lunch is here. And I said, that recording sign is up. You stay out of here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I thought that was something that was clear here too, but he's like super scared. Hold on. Let me see if I can just see. Honey, you got to go see daddy. Okay. What, honey? What'd you say? You got to go see him. Just texting. Okay, buddy, you got to go upstairs, okay? This nice woman, her kids are not in her office, okay?
Reluctantly, right. They wish they could be.
Oh my gosh, okay. So I'm going to start over. So tell me a little bit about I'm going to start real quick. Okay, so tell me a little bit about what you see moving forward for your brand. Like, how do you envision growing? And then what do you picture for the future in scaling? And what is that going to look like for you and your team?
Yeah. So in Grow Workspace, in that brand, we just started producing content for Canada. So we're growing, in another market now as well, and just building the support team to really just even decrease the time that I'm even in that business. Now, I don't think I'll ever completely step away because I do really want to be connected, but just, increasing the new market will help us scale tremendously in membership and profitability. So there's that. And then we provide Spanish content. So kind of evolving in opening new markets and new languages, that instantly will just help us scale. So that's where kind of we're focused there. And then with the Krissy Chin brand, the business coaching brand, I've got a course out there, Build a Blissful Business. And so taking that course evergreen and leveraging ads to the webinar funnel to sell that course just, while I'm out on the boat doing wake surfing or while I'm sleeping, or that is my jam to build through automation and scale through automation. So that's 100% where this brand will be taken. And courses are easy and scalable.
Yes,
as
they
opposed to
are.
private coaching. So I do take on a couple private coaching clients, but not too many, because again, like the joy for me in my life and my business is when I have that time freedom. And private coaching isn't very scalable. So it'll definitely be more courses. You know, building a blissful business is all about building your brand and getting on social media and leveraging a website to build and grow your business. But down the road, it will be list building and how to do that, and automation, which is my jam.
So awesome. Well, if people want to learn more about you, if they're interested in either of your products or your services, where can they go to get more information?
The Krissy Chin, basically all across the board. So website is thekrissychin.com, Instagram, Facebook, it's all the Krissy Chin. The or the what, you know, whatever. So you can find me there and connect with me there, always at support@thekrissychin.com if you want to connect with me through email.
That's great. And it's Krissy with a K. So Krissy, KrissyChin.com. Thank
Yep.
you. So thekrissychin.com. So
Yeah.
thank you so, so much for being here. It was wonderful connecting with you and hearing your story. I know so many people will be inspired. There's probably a lot of nurses out there that are like, who is this? What is she doing? Let me go find this woman and have her help me out. So that's so good. And again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.